What if you could create those incredibly satisfying miniature videos? Tiny people, tiny cities, giant food, cinematic environments, and realistic camera movements, without a camera, actors, physical sets, or even advanced video editing skills. That is exactly what MiniVerse AI claims to help you do. According to the official sales page, MiniVerse AI can turn an idea, keyword, or script into cinematic miniature videos, while also giving you tools for AI images, characters, voices, stories, camera effects, and more. But the big question is MiniVerse AI actually worth buying in 2026, or is this just another AI tool with a flashy sales page? In this MiniVerse AI review, I'll break down what it does, its main features, pricing, upgrades, pros and cons, who it's best for, and whether I think it's worth considering. So let's get started. What is MiniVerse AI? MiniVerse AI is an AI-powered miniature video creation platform. The basic concept is pretty interesting. Instead of manually building miniature sets, finding actors, shooting footage, creating animations, and spending hours editing everything together, the platform is designed to let you start with an idea or prompt and generate miniature-style video content. The sales page specifically highlights things like tiny worlds, miniature characters, oversized objects and food, cinematic motion, realistic environments, AI-generated voices, and multi-character scenes. It is also completely cloud-based, meaning there's no software installation required. You simply log in and work from your browser. And according to the offer, you can use the content for platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and Facebook. How does MiniVerse AI work? The workflow is designed to be beginner-friendly. You start with an idea. For example, imagine typing. Create a cinematic miniature city where tiny construction workers build a giant chocolate cake. The concept can then be developed into miniature scenes and visual content. You can create characters, environments, objects, backgrounds, and different visual styles. You can also generate scripts and story concepts with AI. Then you can add elements such as camera movements, lighting, atmosphere, motion effects, transitions, and AI voices. The goal is to take you from a simple idea to a finished miniature video without requiring traditional production equipment. And that's probably the biggest appeal of this type of platform. AI Miniature Video Creator. The main feature is obviously the miniature video creator. MiniVerse AI is designed specifically around the miniature video format. That means you can create scenes featuring tiny characters, miniature environments, giant everyday objects, food, buildings, landscapes, and fantasy worlds. This is particularly interesting for creators because miniature content can work extremely well as short-form entertainment. Think about content like tiny workers repairing a giant smartphone, miniature chefs cooking a massive burger, tiny construction workers building a house, a miniature city inside a coffee cup, or tiny characters exploring a giant kitchen. These concepts can create strong visual curiosity. And because the content is AI generated, you don't need to physically construct any of those scenes. AI characters and miniature worlds. Another major feature is AI character and environment creation. You can create unique miniature characters and place them inside custom environments. The platform also promotes miniature worlds such as tiny cities, houses, landscapes, fantasy environments, and other detailed scenes. This gives creators much more flexibility than simply using a fixed collection of templates. You can potentially build an entire visual universe around your content. For example, if you're creating a recurring YouTube Shorts series, you could have the same style of miniature characters appearing across multiple episodes. that can help create recognizable content instead of producing completely random videos every time. AI voices and multi-language content. MiniVerse AI also claims to include more than 100 AI voices and support for more than 100 languages. This is useful if you want to create content for different audiences. You could create an English version for one channel and potentially produce another language version for a different audience. The platform also promotes solo, story, and multi-character videos. So you aren't limited to silent visual clips. You can combine characters, narration, dialogue, and storytelling. For creators interested in faceless YouTube channels or short-form storytelling, this could be one of the more useful features. Cinematic camera effects. Another interesting part is the focus on cinematic movement. The offer mentions camera effects such as zooms, pans, tracking shots, and other dynamic camera movements. This matters because even a great AI-generated scene can feel boring if the camera is completely static. Adding movement can make miniature environments feel more cinematic and engaging. You can potentially use close-up shots, tracking movements, dramatic zooms, different perspectives, lighting effects, and atmospheric elements to make the final result more visually interesting. Social media content. MiniVerse AI isn't positioned only as a video generator. It's also marketed towards social media creators. The platform says you can create miniature content for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook, and other platforms. That opens up several possible content strategies. For example, you could create one miniature story for YouTube Shorts. Repurpose the concept for TikTok. Create another version for Instagram Reels. And build an entire series around the same miniature characters. The optional Content Booster upgrade also claims to turn one miniature video into multiple short-form content assets such as shorts, reels, TikToks, captions, and social posts. So the overall ecosystem is clearly targeting content volume. Commercial license. This is another important feature for freelancers and agencies. The offer states that commercial licensing is included. That means the intended use isn't limited to creating content for your own social accounts. You can potentially create miniature videos for clients, businesses, brands, or other customers. This creates another possible business model. For example, instead of only creating your own YouTube Shorts, you could offer miniature video creation as a service. A restaurant might want a miniature food advertisement. A real estate company could want a miniature property concept. A product brand could use giant product miniature scenes for social media. So the commercial use angle could be interesting for freelancers. Pricing. Now let's talk about pricing. The official JV page currently lists the MiniVerse AI front-end at $17. There are also several optional upgrades. The page lists Premium Edition -$47, Unlimited Edition -$97, Done For You Edition -$197, Automation Edition -$47, Content Booster Edition -$37, Monetization Edition -$47, Traffic Multiplier Edition -$47, Agency Edition $97 $197, Reseller Edition -$197, and a White Label Edition $497. The exact value of these upgrades will depend heavily on what you actually need. For a beginner who simply wants to experiment with miniature videos, buying every upgrade probably doesn't make sense. I'd recommend starting with the core product and only considering an upgrade if you actually need the additional functionality. Also, the sales page states that the core offer includes a 30-day money-back guarantee, but you should always review the current checkout terms before purchasing. Pros. So let's quickly look at the positives. Beginner friendly. You don't need a traditional video production setup. The platform is designed around AI generation and a simple browser-based workflow. Strong content potential. Miniature videos are visually distinctive and can work particularly well for shorts and reels. Multiple content types. You aren't restricted to one type of miniature scene. You can experiment with characters, food, cities, fantasy worlds, products, stories, and different cinematic styles. Multi-language support. The advertised 100+ language support could be useful for creators targeting international audiences. Commercial use. The included commercial license could make the platform more interesting for freelancers and agencies. Cons. But there are also some things you should keep in mind. AI output quality can vary. Like virtually every generative AI platform, the quality of the final output can depend on the prompt, generation system, and current AI capabilities. You shouldn't expect every generation to be perfect. You may need multiple attempts. Upgrade structure. The front-end price may look inexpensive, but there are multiple optional upgrades. So make sure you understand which features are included in the basic purchase and which require additional payments. Viral content isn't guaranteed. This is extremely important. Having an AI video generator doesn't automatically mean your videos will go viral. Your idea, hook, storytelling, editing, thumbnails, titles, consistency, and distribution still matter. AI tools are evolving quickly. The AI video space changes extremely fast. A feature that looks impressive today may become standard across competing platforms later. So don't buy purely because of the never seen before style of marketing. Buy because the actual workflow solves a problem for you. So who should actually consider MiniVerse AI? I'd say it's particularly interesting for YouTube Shorts creators, TikTok creators, Instagram Reels creators, Faceless content creators, AI content creators, freelancers, video agencies, marketers, small businesses, and people who want to experiment with miniature-style storytelling without physically producing miniature sets. But if you're already an experienced filmmaker with your own production equipment and a highly customized workflow, this may not completely replace your existing setup. So, is MiniVerse AI worth it? I think the concept is definitely interesting. The strongest part of the platform is its focus. Instead of trying to be a generic AI tool that does everything, MiniVerse AI is specifically built around miniature video content. You get miniature characters, miniature worlds, cinematic scenes, AI voices, image generation, motion effects, multilingual content, and social media creation features. For someone who wants to experiment with visually unusual short-form content, that combination could be valuable. However, I would not look at MiniVerse AI as a magic, make money with AI, button. The software can potentially speed up production. It cannot replace creativity, good storytelling, consistency, and audience research. And before buying, make sure you compare the features included in the front-end offer with the features locked behind the optional upgrades. Overall, if your goal is to create cinematic miniature videos quickly and experiment with shorts, reels, TikTok, or client projects, MiniVerse AI is definitely a tool worth checking out. If you want to check out MiniVerse AI for yourself, I'll leave the link in the description. Just remember to review the current pricing, features, upgrade options, and refund terms before purchasing. If you found this MiniVerse AI review helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because I'll be bringing you more honest reviews of the latest AI tools. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.